quick check. We'll go through whichever ones you guys want to go through, and then we'll talk about what we're doing today. So which of these do you want to see do go over tough questions about? 4, 3. So I got 4 and 3 so far. Just 1. Anyone need to see 2, or are we good on that one? Okay. So, starting with number 1, remember you're solving this just like a regular equation, but it's an inequality, so we have to keep our inequality symbols. We could distribute the 3. We get 24x minus 12. And then combine like terms, do exactly what it says, 24 minus 9. Get rid of 12 by adding it to the other side. And then divide both sides by 15. And you could have wrote that as a fraction or a decimal. The fraction goes quickly 9/6, or the decimal was 1.8, I think. Yes. Yeah. Well, no, you don't have to. If it helps you graph it, then you can do that. So if I let's say I started to move x's over here, then you wouldn't need to do what I'm about to do. Or if you change the whole thing at the beginning, you wouldn't need to do this. If you could read this backwards, so 1.8 is, this is a less than or equal to, but right now it's, still less than, is less than x. You have to read it backwards like that. Then you know it's going to be less than. Or if you'd rather take the whole thing and flip it, whatever direction this is pointing to or away from the x, it just has to be the same. Sorry, I said it backwards. If you read it like this, x is greater than or equal to 1.8, it'd be the same thing as this. So then your number line, you could put whatever you want. I saw some of you just use like 1.8 and kept going. Some of you used the whole numbers. There were different variations for that. If you didn't do it this way, that's okay. As long as you have a number line that makes math sense, you're counting in order. Your 1.8 is somewhere on there. That would be a closed circle going to the right. Questions on that one? The second one is similar. You could start off by distributing. This is a negative 2 that you're distributing. You're not subtracting these first. So minus 6x minus 18 is less than 4x minus 5. Combine your like terms, 8 minus 18. And then you can pick and choose what you want to move. I'm going to make it so that the x's are on the left and the constants are on the right, so I don't have to change anything later. If that's not what you did, that's okay. So let's move 4x and add 10. So the 10's cancel, the 4's cancel. We have negative 10x is less than 5. And then when we divide, we get another fraction or decimal. So again, you can put these however you want. let's say I was just using whole numbers. -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You could have also used fractions, decimals, however. -0.5 would be in between 0 and -1, so somewhere here. So that would be an open circle going to the left. Questions on that one? And then for number 3, which of the following values are in the inequality set? So let's solve it first, and then we'll talk about this part. So we'll distribute the 2/3 by multiplying that fraction to 9 and to -15. So 6 and -10. So it would be 6 minus 10x is less than 8x. We could combine the x's, move them all to the right. So 6 is less than 18x. Divide both sides by 18. This would be the same thing as x is greater than 1/3. So you can write it either way. And then I'm looking for which of these numbers are greater than 1/3. Well, -1 is not. 1/3 is 1/3, and it's not equal to, so that is not. And then 1 and 2 and a half are. So I could have seen that, thought about that numerically. I could have looked at Desmos, put this in, and put those numbers in, and looked at, are they greater than, in the greater than area, or less than? I could have also taken those numbers and put them in for x and see if it proved to be true or not. Questions on that one? The last one. We're going to solve this one like normal, but you end up with something weird that's not the same. So let's combine like terms and distribute at the same time. And you'll start to see that it's looking similar to what an equation would be no solution, but that's not a type of solution for inequality. So if I keep solving this, let's say I get rid of my x's. Those both, my voice cracked. Those both cancel, just leaving -7 is greater than 8. And instead of putting no solution, we would say, is this a true statement? Is -7 greater than 8? No. No. So this is false. So instead of no solution, we would say, is this a true or a false statement? And it is false, yes. Questions on that one? Yes. I have it. You have it this way? So this is fine. These are the same thing.
Okay. No, I mean like the 1 point. Like for the number 1. I have it like the alligator thing.
So you have this. Like this.
Yeah.
This is same as the one I have over here. Is still that would. Oh, I see what that is, I don't know if I mentioned this, when you are solving them, flipping them, just be careful that you're keeping it consistent. Because if I move my x's over here, but then I move it back over here, that could change the direction of the sign, so be very careful. Okay. Today, as I mentioned 2 classes ago, is going to be your practice day. So we went through quick text stuff, which should have gotten you in the mindset to practice. Now you're going to practice some in your notes. So I'm going to give you some choices. It's one of 2 choices to do, problems in your notes. You can either do these 3 from this page, 5, 6, and 8, and then these 7 numbers, or you can just do 10 or all of these. Sorry, that was 3 options, not 2. You can do all of these, because it's almost the same. You can pick 10 of these, or you can do 5, 6, and 8 from the previous page and these numbers. You're going to do 10 or 12 of those, and then get it checked by either of us. And then after you're finished, work on the Delta Math for this. That's due on Friday, if you haven't already. If you already finished it, then you can work on other missing Delta Math, other tests, stuff like that. But you got to do this first. Okay, questions on what we're doing today? You get this done relatively fast, then you have the rest of the class to work on other stuff. But work on this.